Hey, this is Jasmine. Have you ever wanted to know what is the latest and greatest of businesses, entrepreneurs, musicians, and artists around the world? Have you ever wondered, why did they make that choice, where they're going, and how can I support them? Well, you come to the right place. If you haven't heard already, I have some amazing guests all the way from Africa and as close as Texas, where I live. Check out Noise Zion podcast on Spreaker, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and 30 plus other platforms. Today's guest is Ivette Sandoval. She started out working in the media and worked as an editor for two of the biggest book publishers in the country. Also, we'll be discussing about her franchise, Eazi Apps, and her journey through media, book publishing, and app development. Give a warm welcome to ever-blessed Ivette Sandoval. Some of the things that I wanted to talk briefly about is, going through your websites. I am just like, my eyes are open. I'm so intrigued by the background that you have. Like specifically, you're an Eazi Apps consultant, as well as you're currently a freelance writer editor. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about your background so everyone else would know a little bit, as the listeners understand you a little bit more?
Right.
What is the Eazi app? And tell me more about your background in regards to your writer editor background, because I know you've had extensive years in that as well.
I'll give you a little background on. So I actually started as a journalist. I worked for a couple of newspapers, community newspapers here in Chicago. And then after that, I went into educational publishing for a few years. And I've also been like a health blogger, freelance writer. I do a lot of like business to business, writing. I do websites. And just recently, like over a year ago, I started with Eazi Apps, which is a franchise. And so I've been helping small businesses develop apps for a variety of different industries. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple.
Cool. And from your
last year.
from your last year, so about a year and 2 months or so. Now, from your website, the eazi-apps.com, you have like a variety of things that people can go and look at. But one of the things you work with specifically, you do from A to Z. You design, build, publish, promote. You even have a section where you have testimonial videos. You've identified, you even have a pretty interesting blog. I was going to ask you about that, because one of the questions I think for the 21st century is like, what is the most popular social media sites of 2021? You've worked with it so many with prospective clients. What is the most popular social media site that a lot of people who are prospective customers or current customers utilize through your services once when you're creating and designing and promoting their business through this Eazi Apps?
It really depends on the industry. Like I have a dog groomer that is super popular, like on Facebook. He does like live videos and, promotions. He like works with like local pet shops, and it's like all his business is Facebook oriented. And I see a lot of people using Facebook groups, to promote their business and to get followers, and, but I also see like a lot of people like TikTok, and they love TikTok. They love sharing, videos, same with Instagram. So it really depends, I guess like in the age group that you're in. So some people love doing lives and, promoting themselves that way. And it's just about like testing the waters and what works for your industry, to be honest, because something might work for someone. And then like LinkedIn, it's more like an older crowd, more professional. And it's a lot about like sharing different like articles and, a lot of tech stuff is like on LinkedIn too. So it really varies on the industry. Like I see like a lot of people share like, I don't know if you've seen the link tree, and they're like in every single different, social media page or whatever. So it really depends like where you're the most popular and where you catch are able to catch their eye.
Right, right, exactly. Because I have Linktree. You even have through your another website that you use, your WordPress, and you have actual articles that you published in different types of gazettes and newsletters and newspapers, stuff like that. And one thing that kind of caught my eye, the one about the murals being restored after 30 years. Like, to me, I love art. So it just caught my eye. Like,
well, Chicago is a huge hub for like mural and like graffiti art. So, and in that particular, it was like really, I mean, 30 years, and somebody actually went back and like, redid it. And I mean, I'm not sure how familiar you are with, Chicago, but in like in Pilsen, it's one of the biggest Latino, well, now it's more like mixed, but there's tons of like cultural graffiti and like murals, and I mean they're gorgeous. Like honestly, it's like if you ever get a chance, like just take a walk around there, and it's like really cool. So
yeah, I've gone to the art museum.
Yeah, the Mexican American or Mexican museum, something like that.
Yeah, I love those, and
there's actually like a brand new mural right behind the museum, and it's some type of like Aztec bird or something, but it covers like the entire, I would think it's like a 3 flat, and it just like goes all the way up, and it's really, really cool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would love to see that. It gives me something to go all the way up there, finally something to actually go all the way up to the Midwest and enjoy this art. Yeah. So this is beautiful. And then when I was also looking at, you have, and I just didn't notice it until now, that you have another link through LinkedIn for Miguel Sandoval. Now, who is he in relations to? Yes, in regards to
That's
Kidney
my brother.
Artworks. It's your brother. Yes. Okay,
my brother.
Cool.
Yeah. So Kidney Artworks flourished because he actually had he was on dialysis for 5 years.
Okay.
So he needed a kidney transplant. So he finally got it last year in 2020. And throughout that whole period, because he's always been an artist, and he's always done paintings and like sketches. Like the other day I was like looking through some paperwork, and everywhere I go, like in my desk, everywhere, I always find his sketches, and they were everywhere. So like during those 5 years, I decided to like, why don't we like launch something? So he started like drawing and painting more. So we created this website, and we created like the social media accounts and all that, and it's actually taken off. He just got into like a gallery, and he's starting to sell more, and a lot of his artwork is like kidney related. So one of the things that he wants to do like in the future is be like, just talk about like organ donation and the need, because there's like a huge need, especially like in the Hispanic community. There's like a huge need for like kidney transplants and like just different like types of organ transplants. So that's kind of like the direction that we're going with that. And yeah, I'm the one that pushes him, and I did his website, and I did we even did like a little blog and stuff. So yeah.
That is so beautiful. I was just checking out his artwork, and I'm like, I love that he's wanting to be like an advocate for that, because I myself, I'm an organ donor.
Oh, really?
I'm also, well, I haven't donated, but I have that little sticker on my driver's license,
right?
Like anatomical gifts that I have, that option if I ever go on to the next life. I'm like, I'm also like on the bone marrow, like if someone needs bone marrow. And I know that that's something that all the persons of color, we are not getting that voice, or we're not understanding that there is so many people who are needing our support, and it doesn't even have to be monetary. It can be a gift for life, and that's beautiful that Miguel is doing that. I mean, I was just like super excited, like, oh my gosh, more art. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the way we see it is like, okay, everyone's going to die eventually. So, I mean, if you could help someone, continue their life, by all means, you're definitely giving somebody the opportunity, the gift of continuing their life even when you're not here. So
Exactly. I love it. So I know we've kind of hit on a little bit about yourself, but can you tell me exactly where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Chicago, so the only time I left was to go to college, but I went just 2.5 hours away. Then I came back right back.
Yes, it looks like
sorry.
you love Chicago.
I do. I'm always defending Chicago because so many people talk so bad about Chicago, and I'm like, Chicago is like the greatest city in the country, and we have the best food. Okay.
But if you could just share maybe one or two memories from your life you would like to hold on forever, and what would that be?
A few years ago, my dad and both my mom celebrated her 65th birthday and my dad celebrated her 70th birthday.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up taking them to see the Grand Canyon because they're always talking about how great Mexico is and, it's all its natural beauty and stuff. And I'm just like, you guys only say that because you've never experienced the beauty of the US. You've never been to like the national parks because like in Mexico, there's like tons of like, beautiful, natural, there's like pyramids, there's like beautiful ocean water, so much cultural, greatness in Mexico. But it was like one of the most, beautiful experience. And I also took Miguel, my brother. So, because, he was still in dialysis and it was crazy because like the whole time we were there, he was really sick because he had, after he gets dialysis, a lot of times he would like, feel nauseous or whatever and lightheaded. And he also suffered from like low blood pressure. So just him being there and like with my parents, it was just like one of those like moments where I just had to like, take it all in because I'm like, I can't believe, that we're finally here.
Yeah. Wow.
I was actually able to, do this for them. And it was beautiful. We went to Bryce Canyon, we went to the Grand Canyon, we went to Hoover Dam, and I took him to like a couple of like nice restaurants like on the strip. So it was just like, full circle, and at some point we thought we were going to have to take Miguel to the hospital because he was feeling so bad. Like he couldn't keep any food in, but at the same time, he's the type of person that has that like awesome spirit that, he fights through the pain. He has like such a high threshold for pain that I'm like, I honestly don't know how you did it. And it was funny because like in Bryce Canyon, they're like these gorgeous like red rocks, and you go down and like literally it's like you're going down and down and down to the point where it's hard to breathe down there, because it's so like tiny and stuff. And he ended up going all the way down.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, oh my gosh. And it was funny because my dad, he was 70 back then. But my dad's always been like very active and very, let's go do this or whatever. And then, so like the tour guide was actually keeping an eye on my dad because they see like, okay, there's this old man and he's just like running to the bottom and how is he going to get back up? Like I only made it halfway because I got scared. Oh, yeah? And then him and my brother go all the way down. And then like the tour guide, I guess he was, talking to Miguel and then he told him that he was on dialysis and, because he could have like passed out, it could have been bad. Oh, and then, so then like the poor tour guide was just like keeping an eye on them. They're like, he's like, are you okay? Are you okay? So it was just like, I was just like, I can't believe you guys did that. And, it was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be, yeah.
So yeah, it was one of the most memorable. And my dad, like they talk about it. It's been like, 2 years and they're always talking about it. And they're always like, oh, thank you so much for taking us and stuff. So, I mean, it was just such a magical and at the same time scary experience.
Yeah, well,
but
it seems like they're
definitely memorable.
They seem a little bit hard.
Definitely one for the book,
but they're determined.
Yeah. They're Sandoval, so
Sandoval.
Yeah, but it was a good time.
That does sound awesome. I'd never been to Mexico, and I always wanted to go. So I guess I probably would have to ask you some cool places to go. I love doing like the national parks and stuff like that, but I just never have anybody to kind of tag along with me, which is fine. It's okay. I mean, if I have a little soul searching in Mexico on, by myself, that's perfectly fine. But I just can't wait to like even though I've gone
Yeah.
to maybe 32 states so far, Mexico, I've gone to all the other countries overseas, but I just never gone to Mexico. So that is on my list for sure.
Well, Mexico City has a lot of, it's like it could be like your focal point. Like you just like fly there, and then there's so many different things. Like if you like cultural stuff, Mexico City is like the best. If you like last year, well, I was supposed to go to Cancun for a wedding, but of course COVID happened. So I ended up going to Mexico City for like 3 weeks, and I was just like Ubering everywhere, with my face mask on and everything. And we ended up going to the Coyoacan, which is like the town where Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera were from.
Oh, wow.
And that town is like so beautiful. Like we went to like the museum where I guess like each of them had like their own like separate building, but it's joined like by like this bridge.
Oh, wow.
So like they transformed it into like a museum, and like half of it is like Frida's, and then the other half it's like Diego Rivera's, and so there's tons of like, and I went in November when it was like Day of the Dead. So there was a lot of like, Day of the Dead exhibits, and they have like those colorful flowers. What do they call them? Well, they're called cempasúchil, marigolds. Sort of like marigolds. So like the color of the marigold is like bright yellow, so it's like really cool. So yeah, so when I went there was like all these like demonstrations like all over the city and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
That is so beautiful. I just love I can just only imagine how vibrant and just the culture. I need to embrace it. I just haven't. It's so busy.
You should definitely. I would start with Mexico City, and then unless you like the resort types, and then I would recommend Yucatan.
Yucatan,
because that's one of my neighbors was actually, they retired there a few years ago, and they live there, and literally they live in paradise.
Oh my gosh,
it's so gorgeous.
Yeah,
and we visit them once in a while. But yeah, they're living the life.
Yeah, I need to put that on my list. Thank you so much. I'm gonna write that down just now here. Another question is, what are you most proudest of?
Well, I think I've managed to build, like an interesting life for myself. I actually have a minor in rhetoric, which nobody knows what that is. So it's like a creative writing, type of major. And I also have a minor in advertising. But, when I started out my career, I wanted to go into advertising because that was, one of the things that I wanted to do. But somehow like I landed, my first job was like a writing job. So then, from there, I've always been like a creative person. So, I was pretty lucky to land like a journalism job and kind of build my career from there, because I always loved writing, but I also like that creative aspect, which is why, I landed, doing apps now, because I think that's like my, I could use both. Like I do blogging, I do writing, I do designs. So, I use my creative juices. So that's kind of like something that kind of somehow happened, but nothing's just happens just for no reason. So.
Yeah, so you're an Ivette of all trades instead of a jack of all trades.
I am.
Yeah, you are. And it sounds like you really love and enjoy what you do, and that is awesome. I'm glad that you were able to find your niche, because people don't get to have, they have a whole lifetime and they're still not able to find that niche. So that is awesome. Awesome. So who has been the kindest to you in your life so far?
Well, I think there's like, a variety of people, I have like, different types of groups of friends. I have people from high school, people from college, people who live in the north side, people who live in the south side. They're some of my best friends, and like my family is also, they're very involved in my life, and always very opinionated. I guess I'm lucky enough to be, around people who really care about me. So, and like I was telling you the other day, it's like you may hear like advice from like so many different people, but it's like at the end of the day, you have to make the call to what you actually take from that advice, because not all advice is good advice, and you have to make your own decisions. But definitely I have like a mix of people that are around me. I have a very good support system. So yeah, so for that I am definitely grateful. I have a lot of friends that call me their sister, we're like super close, they're like my sister from another mother or whatever.
Yeah, sister from another mister.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's funny because someone was like one of my best friends, she actually looks, we actually look similar to each other, so that people always ask us if we're sisters. So it's just kind of funny, but I was like, no, we're not sisters, but yeah, yeah, she's actually, well, I'm her daughter's godmother, so technically we're family now.
Oh, well, good. Yeah. So now you can actually say, you know what? Yeah, we are related.
Exactly.
Well, it's such a beautiful thing to have a group of people who are been your support and your backbone to you, because, that's a beautiful thing that not many people get to have. And it's,
right.
It's an honor. It's an honor to have that. So wonderful.
Yeah, like even my dad is like, he's the type of person that is very like observant, and he's probably given me some of like the best advice, the best life advice that I've ever, had. So it's definitely something, that's worth, pointing out, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yes. So did you have any additional things that you'd like to share in closing with the listeners? Like specifically, like if there's a way that they can reach out to you, if they need to know more about the Eazi apps or any other additionals about any upcoming events or?
No, I mean, they could follow me on social media at Eazi Apps Ivette, or visit my website at easyapps.com/Ivette.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, my dear. It has been an honor and a pleasure to speak with you today. And you have a wonderful weekend. And
you too.
Yes, take care.
All righty. Take care. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye. Thank you for listening to Noise Paloo Zion podcast. I'm Jasmine Castillo, also known as DJ Jim Jam. If you are wanting to be promoted on my podcast, please reach out to me if you are a small business, entrepreneur, musician, or artist. www.jasminecastillovoice.com. Stay tuned for the next upcoming episode.